So after I worked with the Scarecrow 1 year, after I did a couple of Frida Kahlos, because to an artist, you know, there's never enough too many ideas and see which one they want, so I did 3 of them. So after Frida Kahlo, we were talking about other famous women in the inspiring women, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and so she was next. And that was a time when we were talking about how she's notorious RBG, and it was a meme, and talking about how strong she is, and she was such a diva and a princess, and really fought for women's rights, and she did workout videos. She was older but so strong and always taking care of us and taking care of the women in general. And the weight and her gavel, notorious RBG, and she was a super diva.
Oh, that's super cute.
She wore a shirt like that in a workout video that said Super Diva. So
that's adorable.
She
was amazing. I know.
She was
definitely
too amazing,
yeah.
and I felt like I lost a friend when I heard about her passing.
Oh, yeah.
But she was really important for the women's struggles, and she was mainly the one I felt really representative of the AAUW, trying to have people really empowered for women's rights and think about women more in the world.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And this is Sonia Sotomayor,
right?
Supreme Court Justice, and really inspiring to the Hispanic people and all the people in general, especially women.
Nancy Heinz-Glaser, hello. I'm here introducing a bevy of beauties that began as a project in Hart through Fallbrook Scarecrow Inc. and also American Association of University Women. We developed stories around each, and through AAUW we sponsored them in town, and through Scarecrow we developed the ideas surrounding it. We're calling our endeavor Women Talk for the moment, and we're changing the title. The objective is to educate the general public on the history of women, and many people still only know 2 or 3 names of the people that are here with us. So our objective is to make a video that educates and informs, and the Friends of the Library will be working with us, we hope, to project that to people in town and elsewhere. The other objective was to learn how to make these characters, we're calling them characters, so that the museums of the world and the smaller ones follow the direction of B.J. Lane, who's made the face, and you'll see that, and other people who've made the costumes, Leslie Ibarvin, and Jean Benson, part of Scarecrow, Gina Abdul-Rahman, and many, many others. So that people can do this and remember women. We wanted to honor undersung women heroes, and somehow they just all came to be and talk to each other. And that's why we're here, trying to do something positive for educational purposes.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. It sounds like it's a tool to help empower women.
Yep.
And what does AAUW stand for?
American Association of University Women.
Great.
And we have gathered a group of people to take on this endeavor as it evolves and grows, and somehow they all sort of speak to each other through time. And the objective is to hear their voices while we're learning and to help others do the same. And I co-founded the Quad Collaborative Plus, which is a group of working women with B.J. Lane, and a number of the other people are part of it, and B.J. is an artist, I am not. And she's done a lot of the heads here, many of them, and has a video that will accompany what we're doing as well on how to do it. So
Oh.
BJ, would you say how you got started in all this crazy thing?
What inspired you to do this, BJ?
Well, Nancy is just my inspiration. You know, she brings out great ideas for, for the community, and I just thought, wow, this is what I know. I mean, the very first thing that I did was the scarecrow, and I did Marie Curie. I was a homeschool mom way back when, and that was one of the women that I had my girls learn about. So as far as the other women that I've sculpted, I'm learning from her, and it's just so much fun to have a new face pop up. And now I know Elizabeth Cady Stanton, I know Harriet Tubman, I know Susan B. Anthony, I know about their backgrounds, I know Megan Rapino, and
So all these
it's just wonderful.
All these
Yeah.
historical women, you're now familiar with their stories.
And I've talked to them while I sculpt.
And they're inspiring you.
They are inspired.
Why don't you show me your Madame Curie?
So this is Madame Curie, and the purpose of making her was for the Scarecrow event in Fallbrook.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Jean Benson. I got involved with the Scarecrow building at the beginning, so that was about 10 years ago, and it's evolved in lots of ways, including this display. I'm kind of the background person. If somebody wants something built or a certain look on a scarecrow, I figure out how to do it. So I'm the builder.
Hi, so what do you do in all of this?
Well, my name's Leslie Ibarvin, and I joined as a costume consultant because Peggy, who was originally on the team, moved out of town and they didn't have anybody to fill that role. So Susan B. Anthony was the first costume that I actually did for these sculptures. And a little bit about Susan B. Anthony that's kind of fascinating, I found, is that she was born into a Quaker family, and they really had open speech. She had a free voice. She could talk freely in that environment. And so she was really surprised when she went out in the world to find out how little a voice that women had. So she became very activist as a social reformer and for women's rights. And she was very pivotal in the suffragette movement. So she has done a lot for women's rights to where we are now as far as voting and our ability to speak out freely.
That's really interesting. That's a really good point, that she was raised in that Quaker environment where she was allowed to use her voice.
Yes.
And her opinion mattered.
Yes.
And then when she went out in the world and found out how,
She was shocked.
boy, I know, are we so fortunate?
Yes.
We are so fortunate. Well, you did a beautiful job on her. I'm going to get a nice close-up. And the costume looks perfect. I mean, you have to know that when I walked in, I thought most of these people were real people.
We're about to walk around and see all of the faces that BJ Lane has done, and if you look or ask for it, we have a video on how to make them because she's such an accomplished artist. We have here Greta Thunberg, the climate activist, who was done by another artist, Carolyn Tom, and somehow BJ ended up repairing her. She's not travel worthy. She is going to be our spokesperson for honoring those who are energy efficient and conscious. And so as you can see, this was her sign.
Oh, what type of repair did BJ need to do on her?
Well, I had to repair a crack because she fell during a little bit of a windstorm outside. And then I decided to shorten her because she's actually 4'11". And so I made her a little bit shorter and had to redo the sign. And there's also a globe that Carolyn made. So I'm repairing that, and it will be a part of the exhibit.
Oh, beautiful. That's wonderful. All right, so you're going to introduce me to the rest of the characters.
I am. I'm excited to do it. Megan Rapino, who was Equal Pay for Equal Sport, the World Soccer Star winner, who brought the attention that women's soccer stars were making less money than men. And in an audacious way, she raised the issue of equal pay. So we appreciate her and what she did for women's sports as well. Over here, of course, is the very famous Eleanor Roosevelt, the world's first lady, who was also responsible for establishing the women's club movement, so women had a place to talk and share. not only homemaking tips, but things they wanted to see as activists in the future, and she was a labor rights activist. So she saw to it that women and children in bad working conditions were taken care of. So she's a hero to me. And she also,
me too.
yeah.
I think I have goosebumps while you're talking about it, honestly.
And this is her in her younger years, but she did so much to help us all acknowledge our power and what we can do if we work together. So it was one person working with many.
And wasn't she FDR's legs?
She was his legs, sometimes his mouth, when he couldn't travel
Right.
and speak or
Right.
wasn't well enough, she would go out internationally. And I think because she was so vocal and outspoken for people, not just women, but people, she was beloved by everybody.
Yes.
And I know that somewhere in the 50s, she walked with my husband in the Rose Garden when he was a little boy.
Oh,
So she's got it in Hyde Park, New York. So,
it's so cool.
Isn't that funny?
Like to be able to say that, right?
right, we couldn't find his picture though. And of course, this is Elizabeth Cady Stanton. We first came to know her because there's a local author, Sarah Bates, who's written a book called The Lost Diaries of Elizabeth Cady Stanton. She was married to William Stanton, the War Department head during the Civil War, and pretty instrumental with a bunch of kids, and still became instrumental with Susan in developing the platform for the Women's Convention in Seneca.
With Susan B. Anthony.
With Susan B.
her.
Anthony.
Wow.
They were best friends, worlds apart. Susan was single, never married, and Elizabeth Cady Stanton was married with many children and a very busy life, and yet they were best of friends. So they did a lot of this work by letter writing, and they were of the time though, so there were many challenges, and the time of trying to get the women's right to vote, they were not alive by the time it came through.
Wow.
Both of them had passed. And next to them, of course, is one of my favorites, who really, I think, helped start it all for me in understanding what it meant to say yes and say no. I have a right to be a person, I have a right to be free, and she ran away and then tried to retrieve her entire family from slavery.
Harriet, right?
Harriet Tubman,
Harriet
the founder
Tubman.
of the Underground Railroad. And actually, many people don't know, she worked in the summers doing laundry in Atlantic City to raise money for her mission
Wow.
in the area that was known as, I guess, the rich went to Atlantic City at the time.
Sure.
And she's just my hero. We worked real hard on her because she had been beaten by her master and said the heck with that and learned how to shoot a gun and learned that it was important to take care of herself. And the people in Philadelphia worked with her. The Quakers of Philadelphia worked with her. And in quiet, and I think that in anywhere the numbers are from 300 to 700 people were saved because of her effort through the railroad. And so they all just somehow came together and talked to each other. And they each passed a baton, stood on the shoulders, opened the door, and built bridges. And we're still building them. So you can never forget. And we have to do this so that others will not.
This is a part of the history that's going to help us rewrite and better our future history. What a shame.